It happened yet again. The 9-year veteran guard Malik Beasley is in big trouble. After getting shimmied by Giannis and fumbling the ball to put an end to the season of the Detroit Pistons, to being investigated in one of the worst gambling scandals the league has ever seen. Malik Beasley's having one of the worst stints of his career, even worse than his three-point shooting with the Lakers. But well, Malik's not the first NBA player to bet on his games. Here are all the NBA players in history that have been caught gambling. Sports betting has been an integral part not just of North American sports, but of sports worldwide. Basketball, football, horse races, turtle races, you name it. Chances are you can bet on absolutely anything. And in the NBA, sports betting's been at its peak. Parlays left and right, overs and unders, and point props. You can even bet on Angel Reese missing his first shot and just print money. And the thing is, NBA and WNBA players are fully aware of this sports betting epidemic. Fans let them hear it on social media, posting death threats and trash talk if they fail to cash in their prop. Kevin Durant has been in the league for a while, and he knew how harsh fans could be when they don't hit their parlays. During an interview at an event hosted by Kay Adams, Kevin Durant was asked about the rise of sports betting and how it affects players. He took the opportunity to mock fans who get angry when their parlays lose, saying something along the lines of, "Y'all got problems. Y'all mad at us for losing you money? That's your fault. We're out here trying to win games. If your bet doesn't hit, don't take it out on us." On a podcast, Boston Celtics superstar Jaylen Brown admitted he's hearing all about this noise. He also described racist and threatening DMs from disgruntled bettors. "If one of you parlaying motherfuckers runs up on me, I'm gonna fuck you up. Try it if you want to, that's all I'm gonna say." The NBA players are aware. Just in this NBA season, Golden State Warriors star Draymond Green was fined $50,000 for questioning the integrity of the referees and shouting the 5.5 point spread towards the officials. You just know these NBA players check the spreads and their point props before the game. In 2024, Rudy Gobert was also fined $100,000 after joking that referees might be influenced by betting following a game against Cleveland. It's crazy to think that the NBA would fine a whole year of WNBA salary when the commissioner Adam Silver promotes sports betting himself, as they integrate betting on NBA League Pass. Now, you won't just lose money paying for overpriced subscriptions, but also on betting. Good job, Adam Silver. Double the profit. NBA fans are also quick to point fingers. They point out that it's easy for these NBA players to hide and actually bet on their games, purposely rigging their games. Well, some of these gambling-crazed fans are just delusional, but some of them actually make sense. Some of the players in the league right now might be involved in gambling in their games. They just haven't been caught yet. Want to know the first ever NBA player who got caught gambling in his own games? Well, it happened way earlier than you think. In the 80s? No. In the 70s? Too late. In the 1950s. Yep, those plumbers in the 50s needed more money, and sports betting was the easiest way. In 1954, when the NBA was still finding its place in America's sports landscape, one man stood out for all the wrong reasons. He was brilliant, charismatic, a future star in the making. His name was Jack Molinas. A 6'6" forward out of Columbia University, Molinas was gifted. On the court, he had vision, poise, and a silky smooth jump shot. Off the court, he was studying law, a real-life scholar athlete. In 1953, the Fort Wayne Pistons drafted him 3rd overall, expecting a franchise player. And for a brief moment, he looked the part. In just 32 games, he averaged 11 points and 7 rebounds per game, a promising rookie campaign. But Jack had a dark secret, one that would rock the league to its core. He wasn't just playing basketball, he was betting on it. Midway through his rookie season, the NBA discovered that Molinas had been placing bets on Pistons games he played in. Even worse, he didn't deny it. His defense? He was only betting on his team to win. But it didn't matter. NBA Commissioner Maurice Podoloff acted swiftly. In 1954, Jack Molinas was suspended indefinitely, later banned for life. It was the league's first major gambling scandal, and it set the tone for how seriously the NBA would treat integrity violations for decades to come. Now most players would have disappeared into obscurity after that. But Molinas, he didn't stop. He went deeper. In the streets of New York City, he built a criminal empire, fixing college basketball games across the country. With help from gamblers and mafia connections, Molinas orchestrated a vast point-shaving network. Players from over 27 schools, including NC State, NYU, and Kentucky, you name it. He recruited them to subtly manipulate the score, just enough to tip the betting lines. In 1961, federal authorities closed in. Jack Molinas was arrested, indicted, and convicted of conspiracy. He was sentenced to prison, and the scandal sent shockwaves through the NCAA. College basketball would never be the same. By the mid-1970s, Molinas was allegedly tied to even more illegal operations, this time in California. On August 3, 1975, he was found dead in his backyard, shot in the head. Sounds like a Godfather movie, no? In the history of the NBA, Jack Molinas was the first ever player who got caught gambling on his own games, and it did not end well for him. Over the decades, no NBA players have been involved in betting on their own games. But do you know who had an issue with gambling? The GOAT himself, Michael Jordan. MJ's gambling problems were so bad that he had to do an interview just to admit he gambles but doesn't have a gambling problem. A crazy and popular conspiracy theory back then was that MJ was actually suspended and didn't retire in 1993 because of his uncontrollable gambling problems. The NBA denied these allegations, of course, but back then, it made a lot of sense. For MJ, he never gambled on his games because he considered the sport as sacred. He did lose millions over golf, though. Over the early 2000s, the NBA's been accused of rigging games for big market teams, especially the Los Angeles Lakers. Remember the awful officiating in that one Sacramento and Lakers series? Die-hard Kings fans still talk about that series to this day. Since then, the fans' distrust towards the league grew larger, and this next scandal did not help. You see, it's not just the NBA players who got involved in gambling games. Of course you know by now the godfather of sports betting, legendary referee Tim Donaghy. Tim Donaghy was an NBA referee for over a decade. From 1994 to 2007, he worked hundreds of games and was trusted to make the right calls. But in 2007, that trust was broken. It was discovered that Donaghy had been betting on NBA games, including ones he was officiating. This was a huge problem, not just because it broke league rules, but because it raised a serious question. Were games being manipulated? According to the FBI investigation, Donaghy shared inside information like injury updates, referee assignments, and how certain players responded to different refs with professional gamblers. In return, he got paid thousands of dollars. The scandal went public fast. Fans, players, and the media were shocked. For a league that was built on fair competition, this was a nightmare. Even though Donaghy claimed he never made bad calls on purpose to affect the outcome, many people had doubts. In 2008, Donaghy was sentenced to 15 months in federal prison for wire fraud and gambling charges. He served his time and was released in 2009. Since then, Donaghy's spoken openly about what happened. He's written a book, appeared in documentaries, and continues to claim that the NBA has deeper problems with how games are managed. The Tim Donaghy case was a wake-up call, not just for the NBA, but for all professional sports. It showed how even one person in the wrong position could shake the public's trust in the game. Since then, the NBA's taken major steps toward preventing NBA players and even referees from betting on their own games. Well, let's give them credit where credit's due. They've done a great job, well, up until 2024, when another betting scandal rocked the entire league. In early 2024, NBA officials received alerts from betting integrity monitors. Something didn't add up. On 2 occasions, large bets had been placed on Porter's in-game prop bets, specifically on him underperforming. And oddly enough, he did. In both games, he left early, citing injury or illness. In one, he played just 3 minutes. In another, he checked out after 4. Wasn't just a coincidence. Behind the scenes, Porter had reportedly shared confidential health information with gamblers. Worse, he intentionally removed himself from games so that bettors could cash in. When the league investigated, they found it all: betting patterns, communications, and a clear connection. The FBI was already involved. The possibility of federal charges for fraud or conspiracy loomed over Porter and anyone he colluded with. His career? Over. It's one thing to gamble, it's another to gamble with your career, the trust of the game itself. With all the media attention the scandal got, it left Adam Silver scratching his head. Little did he know there's more to come, this time with a more significant name in Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley had a breakout season with the Pistons, averaging 16.3 points per game and draining a franchise record 319 threes. He helped Detroit return to the playoffs for the first time since 2019. But now, the rising shooting guard faces a serious federal investigation. over suspicious prop bet activity during his 2023-24 season with the Milwaukee Bucks. One example, on January 31st, 2024, there was a dramatic spike in bets on him getting under 2.5 rebounds. Bets that heavily shifted the odds even though he ended up with 6 that night. Another instance that's circulating right now on the internet was that late bucket to cash in on the team spread. Importantly, Beasley has not been charged yet. His lawyer emphasized that an investigation is not a charge, highlighting his legal right to presumption of innocence. Still, the timing couldn't have been worse. Prior to this, Beasley was in serious talks for a 3-year, $42 million contract with Detroit. Talks now completely halted. Imagine if the rumors were true. He just flipped a $40 million contract for thousands in sports betting. This is not the only off-court issue. A former marketing agency is suing him for $2 to $2.5 million, claiming he still owes $650,000 in advance. Plus, he's reportedly dealing with debts to dentists, barbers, and landlords, some totaling in the tens of thousands. Malik Beasley should be a hot commodity this free agency because of his breakout season with the Pistons. But now he's appearing on a different court, defending not from Giannis, but from lawyers and judges. The NBA surely wanted all of these issues to be buried 6 feet under. If the investigation goes south for Beasley, he might be banned from the league forever. For Adam Silver and the rest of the league, this is a wake-up call. Don't be surprised if more players get investigated for betting on games.